Hi everyone, my name is Enda and this is the yarn in the Restless. I have started this video over 10 times now because my cats have made it really clear that they will be on either side of me, and that's why the frame is slightly different this time. I am wearing my Lento sweater. I don't usually wear my knitted garments when I record, but today was the day. I was really feeling it, and also really just wanting to wear a little knitted hug, and that's what it's providing me with. So I want to go over my projects, mostly because I don't want to have an hour-long video in a few more weeks of who knows what. But I haven't made a ton of progress. But last week I was talking about this tank top that I was designing, and hi. I remember in the video being like, this is too big and I'm gonna have to restart it. I think I hadn't gotten very far and I had a provisional cast on, and I was holding it up to myself and it was feeling pretty big, and the person that I plan on giving it to has like a smaller bust than me, so I had said that I was going to restart it. I did. I restarted it and knit the front panel and the back panel separately, so it still looks pretty small, but it stretches and it's pretty big. This is the front panel, and it's knit from the bottom up with a provisional cast on, and then the side stitches are picked up and garter stitch is along the back, and it's really stretchy. That's what this is implying. And then I picked up the stitches along the bottom where the provisional cast on was, and picked up stitches along the garter edge, and now I am working the ribbing. And the ribbing's gonna be quite long. The person that I'm giving it to is much taller than me. Not much, but she's tall and I'm short, so she seems like much taller. So the ribbing's gonna be, I don't know, like maybe 4 inches or something. So that's where I'm at right now, and I feel very annoyed with this. I sized down to a 3mm to do the ribbing, and I don't have that in my interchangeable set. And this cable is really long and the needle tips are really long. I feel annoyed by this, and I feel that way about another work in progress I'm going to show too. So I think I'm going to have to buy 2 needles, and I feel annoyed by that. I wish interchangeable sets had literally every size, not a range, because it goes down to like 3.5mm or something, and I needed it a 3. But here we go. Once I finish that, I will need to pick up all of these stitches all the way around and knit some sort of border, and then I need to decide if I am gonna make it a tie halter or a tank top. And I think it would be cuter as, gosh, your little face in the frame. I think it would be cuter as a halter top. And I had tried to make a garter stitch strap earlier, and I didn't like it. It seemed messy and it stretched really hard, and I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna be double knit. And I'm only pausing like that because I don't want to knit that. But I think it would look the best. But I was imagining that the edging would be garter stitch since the back is garter stitch. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm still like designing as I go, but it is coming along and I think it's really cute and I love these colors. And I love how stretchy this back is. And I think the person I'm giving it to is going to really, really like it. And if she doesn't, I do. But I don't typically wear tank tops and things like this. So I don't know if I would wear it, but I am trying to get over and beyond that. I say that I don't wear them. I literally just bought 2 tank tops online earlier. So I'm trying. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I'm trying to. So that's that. Okay. This, remember this? My hair, my cat's hair, everyone's hair is on it. I finished the back panel. That's where I was last time. And I seamed up the shoulders. And I'm really happy with how the ribbing matches up. I think I could have done it in a way where I kept the stitches live on both panels and had a cleaner seam, but I don't mind this. I don't know. What did I do? No, I Kitchener stitched it together. And then I opened up the front panel. So this was closed and I sewed down the side of the steek. I don't put my steeks all the way down through the ribbing because I've done that before and I felt like it was really messy and hard to disguise later on down here. So I usually start my steek past the ribbing when the stockinette or whatever stitch starts. So I sewed that down and cut it open. It's now like a cardigan. Excuse me. Cardigan vest. And I picked up stitches for the arm, but again, with the needle situation, I don't have, what is this? A 4mm 12 or 9-inch circular, except for this one, which is like plastic tubing. And the stitches, it's like really hard to get them to move on it, and it's a nightmare. It's driving me mad. I don't like it. I don't like working on it. It hurts my hands too to like do a couple stitches and then like move everything around. It's awful. It's terrible. So that's, I think, another needle I'm gonna have to buy. A 4mm 9-inch or 12-inch. I think 9. So I could use them for socks if I wanted to later. That feels so annoying to have to do. But I met like last week or so, my goal was to finish the back panel and cut open the sweater, and I got there. So I'm happy when I meet some sort of goal like that, I take a break. So I was ready to like go to town. I know it looks really scrunched up, but it's it fits an arm. I was ready to go for it, but this was just such a turn off. No, thank you. So I put that down and then I picked up this project, which I would say I have made a lot of progress on because it was really short last time. Look at that. Um, is this the right side? Yeah. Look at that. I'm so happy with this. Woo. Okay, this is the back panel of a vest I've been designing. And you can tell I steam block my work as I go, and you can tell that from here on is not steam blocked. I can tell. But I feel like we were way up here last time. I'm so happy with this. What's there to say? I mean, this is a vest with some cable work on it. I did all of this with one ball. I've been really marveling at that too. I kind of can't believe it, and I went to look at how many skeins of yarn I have left. I had 6 in total, and there's 5. There's 5 more. So this is really one ball of yarn got me all of this. I'm very proud. So I am going to continue for a few more inches, and then I'm going to start rib. I have realized that when I design something, I need to call it cropped. It's not going to be cropped on me, but I'm such a short person and have a short torso that when I look at cropped garments and full-length garments, a cropped garment is a normal length on me. So I don't want to, I don't know what to do about this. I didn't want to design a cropped vest. I wanted to design a full-length vest, and I am for me. But I'm not sure how to make that like universal in a pattern. And I think I'll make it the option. I'll have to present it as a cropped vest with the option of lengthening it, because the yardage I use will be for a cropped version. And see if I can get testers to knit a full length one and tell me how much yardage they used, and do my own math too of rows, and it just starts to get a little more messy that way. In terms of what could be a really streamlined process of designing and writing a pattern. So I feel slightly annoyed by that. But I don't need it to be much longer before I start the ribbing. I don't want it to go past my hips. I want it to sit kind of at them. I don't know. I definitely want it to be like down here. Yeah, that's that. I don't know. But it's coming along. That's all I gotta say. It's coming along. And this project was really hurting my hands to cable, and it's just not now. I don't know. I've gotten used to it. Also, this cable pattern is about, I think it's 8 rows, and for like this much of it, I needed to look at every single row of how to do it. And I have finally gotten to a point where I don't need to do that anymore. I can just do it. The 8th row is on the purl side, and it's kind of a setup row to begin your next 8 rows. That's the only row that I need to kind of look at sometimes. Well, how do I do that setup row? But that has really sped things up. I'm just like going to town now. I don't need to have my little book by me. I just go and I'm knitting. um, I've been watching movies a lot lately too, and that has really helped too. I watched The Man Who Fell to Earth, which is like from the 1970s with David Bowie, and I had never seen it before. And I would say like the first hour, I was like, do I want to watch this? Or am I just like watching it because I want to see another movie that David Bowie is in that I never have seen? But then I got into it. But it's weird. It's a strange one. But I got a lot of this done during that. So that's nice. I also went to the movie theaters and I watched Love Lies Bleeding, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I recommend that you do. And I loved it. I don't know. I have nothing like knitting related to share about it. I did knit on like a plain stockinette sock, but I didn't bring it over here, and I'm not gonna grab it even though I can see it over there. And I knit a lot because I was like, but it's a really good movie, and you know, there's not a lot of queer movies that aren't like solely focused, like hyper fixating on the relationship of like, oh my gosh, they're queer, and have an ending where they end up together. A lot of queer and lesbian movies have like these tragic endings where it's like, and then they were ripped apart and could never see each other ever again because homophobia is too intense. It wasn't like that at all, and it was fun. It was great. So that's my movie stuff. When I pulled out my Lento sweater, I found 2 projects that I just like completely forgot about. When I saw them, I was like, oh, remember that? I showed this on here episodes ago, but remember this crochet tank top I was trying to make? I just found it like stashed away in my closet. I just got over it, I guess. This was the beginning of the back panel, and then this is the only yarn that was with it, so I'm not really sure where this yarn is. I'm not sure if I finished the ball. I mean, it kind of seems like I did, and then I think I have another one stashed away with my yarn, so I don't know. But I have no idea what hook size I used for this. It's all single crochet, which is a little wild that I was doing that. But I really like this fabric, and I want to wear it. So I'm gonna experiment a little bit with hooks and see if I can figure out what hook I was using. And I think when I pull out this other ball of yarn too, I usually try to stick pretty closely to what it says on the ball band, so maybe that can be the starting point of figuring out what hook size I use. But I didn't write any notes for this in my like knitting and crochet book. I was like, there's no way I'll forget. Don't do that. Learn from me and don't do that, because if you're not gonna just crochet and knit that one thing, you're gonna forget. So I pulled that out because I would love to finish that, especially while knitting the other tank top. It's just like, it's tank top time. And then this, I'm uncertain if I'm going to finish, but I pulled it out too because it's like this big vest. When I don't even know when I was making this, in like December. I went to town I have never watched Gilmore Girls before. I have now, but December I watched all of it. I think it was like a really big part of processing my last breakup. It just felt like that's what I needed to do, and that's what I did. And I watched like 8 seasons of it. And even the year after, I watched it all. And this is what I was making during that. I have no idea what stitch I was using. It's not a stitch I like just know off the top of my head. It's definitely a stitch I was using from like a crochet stitch reference book from the library, which I don't have anymore. So I don't really know what to do about that. I know I sent photos like working on it to one of my friends, and I think I showed them what stitch I was using, so maybe I can like backtrack and try to figure it out. I think I also put it on Instagram too. So I have that front panel, and then I have the beginning of the back panel, which is pretty good. I'm like ready to just go. Again though, I don't know what hook size I used. And I don't think I took any notes on this either. For some reason, when it comes to crocheting, I'm not taking notes. That's gotta stop. And I also feel uncertain if I have enough yarn. I need to check, but I think I only have like a few more balls of this. I got this yarn from like a creative reuse place in San Francisco, and I got 9 balls for $9 of like this Hobie cotton, which is a great deal. But I think I used like 4 or 5 for the front panel, so I'm just like not sure I'm gonna have enough for the back, because the back will take more yarn because this will be covered, and I also need to do edging. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but a little investigating, and I don't know, if I don't have enough yarn and I run out, what then? I don't know. I think I'd have to rip it all out, but I just think that's disturbing. So that's out, thinking about that. I also pretty randomly started doing a little cross stitching, and it looks like this so far. I haven't done a lot. I also am not a cross stitcher. I've tried to do cross stitch like one other time from a library book that I saw and was like, oh, so cute, I must cross stitch these things. And I cross stitched like half of a flower and was like, done. But I found this Instagram page that has digitized so many specifically Palestinian embroidery designs, and are like encouraging people to stitch them and preserve this cultural heritage, and it feels very beautiful and powerful to have access to that, even though it would be great if the threat of this cultural heritage just wasn't being wiped out. So I am stitching this. This is what it looks like, but it's gonna be tiny. And then I got some felt sheets that have adhesive on the back, and then once I'm done, I'm gonna make a few things like this. I hope this makes sense. And then I'm gonna put this on the adhesive and cut out little bookmarks and do whip stitch around the edges. And then I'm going to sell them for donation money. And that's something else I've been doing. That's my story. I'm actually really loving cross stitch. I think like the little stitches are just, I wish you could see them. They, once you're doing them, you're like, I don't know if this is gonna look right, and then all of a sudden it just starts looking right, and that's amazing. And the designs are beautiful and like so charming. These little flowers are adorable. So that's that. 25 minutes. That's all I have this time around. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and it's been giving me like a lot of headaches. So I actually haven't been knitting that much for the last couple of days, but all really good and beautiful and transformative things happening. In all things around people coming back into my life, people that I didn't think that were going to, and that has felt very trying and strange. But one of the people that has recently come back into my life is my mom. And I could have never anticipated that I would have the capacity to hold space for her to come back into my life. Nobody on here really knows anything about my family, but my mom and I have not been in each other's lives for many years, for many reasons. And I feel very open to it and ready, and I think she does too, and I feel excited about that. It definitely has stirred up a lot in me, but it feels good, and I feel excited to see my mom. Like, I also think if you have the opportunity and family, and if you have the opportunity to embrace, I think it's incredibly important to do so. There's so much going on that to miss out on the opportunity of creating space where there's love and intention and embrace. I just think that would be such like a shame to miss out on. But to each their own. I mean, if I didn't have the capacity to hold the space for her, like, it wouldn't be a bad thing on my part. I think we all need to do what we need to do. And the other people coming back in my life, I'm just like, whoa. But it also feels very good, and it has really given me the opportunity to notice and address really big things in my life and way of being that felt really rattling at first, but it's starting to feel expansive, and the takeaway feels very powerful. And again, I think if you have the chance to come together in some form with anyone, to do so like full-hearted and open. That's all. That has nothing to do with fiber arts. But that just has to do with me. I hope that you're doing well, and I would love to hear what you're working on. Oh my gosh. Okay, I started this video over in the beginning so many times, but whoops, I forgot to mention and gush over how many new subscribers I got from my last video. Like, I feel like so strange saying that, like what just came out of my mouth. Um, I don't know what it was about my last video. The only thing that I did differently was I edited a I edited like a frame for the title screen. Is that, I don't know. And I don't know. I think it just reached a lot more people, and I think like I got over 50 new subscribers, which is really big to me. I know in the grand scheme of things, like I'm a pretty small fish on here, but I just want to say hi to all of you and thank you so much for being here. And I can't believe it. And, and it feels very, I just feel very touched that I'm building myself a community here. And in turn, just, I don't know, we're just sharing with each other. So with that, thank you for being here. Hi, hello, and almost goodbye. I want to know what you guys are working on. I want to know what's up with you. And that's all. That's all I got. I will be back in a week or so with more updates, unless I've done nothing. I don't know. And I hope that you take care of yourself. In the meantime, rest your wrist in between projects, do fun stuff, and be kind to each other. Okay, bye.